The sky above Earth turned dark, not like night, but stranger. Purple clouds rolled across the sky like waves, glowing from inside. Lightning cracked in the distance. But this was no normal storm. Leo wiped oil off his hands as he stood outside. His small workshop. He had never seen a sky like this. His scrapyard, full of old alien machines and broken tech, was silent. Even the birds had stopped singing. He looked up. A loud boom echoed through the air, shaking the ground under his feet. "What the?" he whispered. High above, something huge was falling from the sky. It burned bright like a star but left a trail of black smoke behind. Leo's eyes widened as the object grew bigger. It was coming fast and heading straight toward the edge of the scrapyard. Then boom! The crash shook the earth. A bright flash lit the sky, followed by a wave of heat and dust. Leo ducked behind a pile of metal, his heart racing. Pieces of strange metal flew through the air, landing with loud clanks. When everything went quiet again, Leo stood up slowly. He looked toward the crash site. "I have to see what that was," he said to himself. He grabbed his tool belt, flashlight, and a small energy gun, just in case. Then he ran. The scrapyard was like a maze of twisted steel and forgotten machines, but Leo knew it well. He climbed over a broken hovercar, crawled under a fallen satellite dish, and finally reached the crash site. Smoke and steam filled the air. The ground was cracked and blackened. Pieces of glowing metal were scattered everywhere, and in the center was something huge. Leo stepped closer, heart pounding. The shape was like nothing he had ever seen. It had wings, large, broken wings, made of metal and scales. Its body was long and powerful, with silver armor plates. Sparks jumped from its body. Parts of it were burned, others still glowing. Then he saw its head, shaped like a dragon, with sharp horns and a jaw full of metal teeth. Its eyes were closed. "What is this thing?" Leo whispered. He took a step closer. The creature didn't move. Maybe it's dead, he thought. He slowly walked around it, careful not to make noise. The wings were torn, as if lightning had ripped through them. There were deep cuts on its body, and some kind of thick blue liquid leaked from them. Leo reached out with his gloved hand and touched its side. Suddenly, the eye opened, bright yellow, glowing, not like any eye Leo had ever seen. It looked directly at him. Leo froze. He couldn't move. The creature growled softly, not loud, but deep and rough, like thunder under the ground. Its body twitched. One of its claws moved, then stopped. Leo backed away slowly. "I'm not here to hurt you," he said, his voice shaking. "I don't even know what you are." The creature blinked. Then its eyes slowly closed again. Leo stood there for a long moment, trying to calm his breath. Then he looked at the wreckage again. Who could build something like this? Was it even built or born? He pulled out his scanner and pointed it at the creature. The screen blinked with strange symbols he had never seen. Alien code. Unknown tech. No ID. He looked at the creature again. It was hurt, badly. Whatever it was, it needed help. Leo sighed. "Guess it's just you and me now." He went back to his workshop and returned with tools, power cells, and a hover lift. Carefully, he started working around the creature, cutting away the sharp debris and scanning its body. He didn't try to move it yet. First, he had to understand it. The storm still rumbled in the sky. Purple lightning flashed again, far away now. As Leo worked, he didn't notice a small black drone fly above the crash site. It hovered for a moment, watching silently, then zipped away into the clouds. Someone else had seen the crash too, but Leo didn't know that yet. All he knew was that something powerful had fallen from the sky, and it wasn't dead. Not yet. The night was silent, but not peaceful. Inside Leo's workshop, the only light came from an old lamp hanging above the table. Tools were scattered everywhere. Sparks jumped from wires as Leo worked on a strange metal arm, one that didn't belong to any human machine. But Leo wasn't thinking about tools. His eyes kept drifting toward the open garage door, where the dragon lay, half covered with a tarp. The alien creature still looked like it had just come out of a nightmare. Its metallic wings were folded in, damaged. Its silver scales reflected the faint glow from the fire barrel nearby. It hadn't moved for hours. Leo rubbed his tired eyes. "You should be dead," he whispered. He had spent the whole day checking its systems. The scanner showed a strange fusion of metal, muscle, and something else. Energy that didn't follow Earth physics. Leo didn't understand it, but he could feel it. Like a pulse in the air. Suddenly, the tarp shifted. Leo froze. The sound came again, a slow, low growl, like a machine trying to wake up. The creature's long neck moved slightly. Sparks jumped across its wings. Its tail gave a twitch. Then, the eye opened, bright yellow. Not just glowing, watching. Leo took a step back. "You're awake," he said carefully. "That's good, I think." The creature blinked slowly. It tried to lift its head, but failed. A metallic whine came from its joints. Its breathing was strange, part growl, part electric hum. Leo swallowed hard. "I pulled out some of the metal shards. You were badly hurt. Lightning did something to your systems. You almost melted." The dragon didn't respond with words, but it looked at him. Really looked. As if scanning every part of Leo's face. Then, without warning, a soft hum filled the air. Leo looked around. The workshop lights flickered. Tools shook on the shelves. The dragon was doing something. Its chest began to glow, a dim blue light. Symbols formed in the air above its head, floating like holograms. Alien language. Shifting too fast for Leo to read. Then the creature made a noise, not a growl, but a voice, robotic, cracked, like a broken speaker trying to talk. "Lo, Tyan?" Leo's mouth dropped open. "You can talk?" More sparks jumped across the dragon's body. Its eyes flickered. Flight. Fail. Target. Missed. Leo stepped closer. "You crashed during the storm. You're safe now. I'm not going to hurt you." The dragon's eye locked on him again. Its voice came back, a little clearer. "You saved me?" Leo hesitated. "I guess I did." For a moment, the air was still. Then the dragon slowly lowered its head to the floor. It wasn't a threat. It was weak. And maybe thankful. Leo walked closer. He could feel the heat from its body, not fire, but energy. It smelled like metal and ozone. "I can help you," he said. "But you need to stay calm. No fire, no laser beams." "Deal?" The dragon made a soft, strange noise. A hiss. Almost like a laugh. Leo smiled nervously. "Okay, I'm gonna need a name for you. Can't just keep calling you Dragon Thing. How about Nyx?" The dragon blinked once. Leo took that as a yes. Just then, a red light started blinking on Leo's scanner. He looked down. Movement detected. Outside the scrapyard, Leo's stomach dropped. He rushed to the monitor. A small drone camera showed shadows moving through the metal fields. "They're here already?" he whispered. He looked back at Nyx. "Who's after you?" he asked. The dragon's eye narrowed. "Hunters." Leo didn't ask more. He grabbed his gear, closed the garage door, and started locking the windows. He tossed a power cell to Nyx. "You'll need your strength soon." Outside, the shadows moved closer. Silent, but watching. And inside, the mechanic and the dragon were no longer strangers. They were a team. The sun had not yet risen, but the sky had turned a pale silver, the kind of morning where nothing feels real. Inside the garage, the dragon lay silent again, but not asleep. Its yellow eye was open, glowing softly, watching everything. The shadows, the machines, the human who had saved it. Leo was busy. He worked like a man who didn't want to think. Tools in hand, wires in mouth, goggles on his forehead. He had been trying to understand the creature for hours, not just heal it. Understand it. He scanned the dragon's body again. The scanner beeped and buzzed. Confused by the alien energy. Leo scratched his head. "You're more machine than animal," he said. "But not just that. You're alive. You're both." The dragon didn't respond. Its tail twitched. "I tried to open a panel on your wing," Leo continued, carefully lifting a small flap of armor. "But it wasn't a machine part. It felt like skin." A low, crackling voice replied, "I am built and born." Leo froze. "You mean you were made, but also alive?" The dragon nodded slowly. "I was grown for war." Leo looked into its eye. He saw something there, not a weapon. Not a beast. But pain. He set his tools down. "Who built you?" The dragon's glowing chest flickered. Symbols rose in the air again, strange, sharp shapes spinning slowly. They called. "US the Ember Line," Nick said. "We were the last, fastest, strongest, sent to conquer. Protect. Destroy." Leo stepped back, unsure if he should be afraid. "And now you're here, crashing into my junkyard." "Why?" The dragon blinked slowly. "Because I refused." Leo felt cold all of a sudden. "You refused to fight?" The creature nodded again. "I did not want to burn cities. I asked why. They called it malfunction. Then they hunted me." Leo took a deep breath. "You were made to be a weapon, but you chose something else." Nyx was quiet for a moment. Then it said softly, "I wanted to choose. Like you." Leo didn't know what to say. He looked around his workshop, broken machines, old parts, forgotten tech. He had always fixed things no one else wanted. Now he had found the most powerful thing he'd ever seen. And it was broken inside too. He sat down on a toolbox and sighed. "I know how it feels," he said. "To be surrounded by junk. To be seen as useless." The dragon's eye dimmed slightly. Almost like a nod. Then Leo's scanner beeped again. Louder this time. He picked it up. "Alert. Foreign signal DTT." He stared at the screen. A red dot blinked inside the dragon's chest. "What the?" He grabbed a small probe and carefully scanned the area. His eyes widened. "There's a tracker inside you." Nyx growled. "I know. I could not remove it." Leo stood up quickly. "That's how they found you. They're coming again." The dragon tried to rise but winced in pain. Sparks jumped from its joints. Leo rushed over. No, stay down. I'll get it out." He turned on a small surgical laser and went to work. The glow of the tool reflected in the dragon's scales. Sweat rolled down Leo's face. The metal was deep, and the tracker was surrounded by living tissue. He had never worked on something this delicate. Finally, with a small spark and a puff of smoke, click, he pulled out a glowing red chip. Still pulsing. Leo dropped it into a sealed box and crushed it with a small press. "Not today," he muttered. He turned to Nyx. "You're clear. But we don't have long." The dragon's voice was faint. "You risked your life for me." Leo looked straight at it. "You're not a weapon anymore," he said. "You're not junk. You're something new." Outside, the morning light broke through the clouds. But in the shadows beyond the scrapyard, more eyes were watching. Cameras, sensors, drones. The hunters had lost the signal. But they had already locked onto the location. And this time, they weren't coming alone. Asterisk. It began with a sound soft, cold, and unnatural. Click, click, like sharp metal feet walking on old bones. Leo froze, holding a cup of cold tea. He was halfway through patching a hole in Nyx's wing when he heard it. Again. Click, click. He slowly looked at the security monitor. The screen was dark, then flickered. Shapes moved in the shadows. 4 figures, tall, fast, and covered in black armor that didn't shine in light. They were here. Nyx raised its head. Hunters. Leo whispered, "How did they find us?" "I destroyed the tracker." Nyx's voice was calm but low. "They are not only hunters, they are listeners." Leo didn't fully understand, but he didn't have time to ask. He dropped the tea, grabbed his gear, and hit the garage lockdown. Thick steel doors slammed shut. Lights dimmed. The scrapyard. Outside fell into silence. Nyx rose slowly, using its tail for balance. Its wings were still damaged, but its eyes were bright with power now. "We fight, or we burn." Leo gritted his teeth. "Let's make them work for it." Outside the scrapyard, the hunters moved like ghosts. No words, no emotions. Only one mission: capture or kill the rogue asset. One of them raised a small orb. It floated into the air and lit up red. Scanning for heat and motion, it found something. A spark dot inside. Leo was crawling through the ventilation tunnels above the workshop, holding a small control pad. He had spent years filling the scrapyard with homemade traps, lasers from broken satellites, UNP bombs, magnetic snares. He never thought he'd have to actually use them, but here they were. He tapped the button. Click dash boom. A mine exploded near the gate, launching a wave of hot debris into the air. One hunter was thrown back. Its armor cracked. The others didn't even flinch. They moved faster. In the workshop, Nyx let out a low growl. Its body glowed as it charged a defense system deep in its chest. "They are not human," it warned. "Do not expect fear." Leo's voice came from a speaker. "Got it. Keep your head low." Another trap fired. This time, a burst of electrical nets. 2 hunters got caught, but only for seconds. Their armor sizzled, then rebooted. They kept walking. One leaped over the wall. It landed right on the roof. The building shook. Leo shouted, "One's on top of you." "Move." Nyx spun, smashing its tail into the ceiling. Metal crashed. A shadow fell through, landing on the floor in front of the dragon. The hunter stood tall. Its face was not a face, just a black glass mask glowing with a red mark. It raised a gun, not bullets but a beam weapon. Too late, Nyx roared, and a burst of plasma fire exploded from its mouth, knocking the hunter through the wall. Smoke filled the air. Leo dropped down from the vent. "That was awesome," Nyx replied. "More are coming." They turned to the monitor. 3 more signals were closing in fast. One of them was bigger than the others. Leo narrowed his eyes. "That's not a soldier. That's a command unit." He ran to the back of the workshop and opened a large chest. Inside were parts of an old alien defense suit. Broken, rusted, forgotten. Not anymore. He pulled out the core and slammed it into a power bank. Lights flickered. "I hope this thing still works." Outside, the ground shook. From behind the hill, the commander hunter appeared. Taller, thicker, its armor lined with spikes and dark red lights. It carried a long weapon shaped like a blade, and a drill. It scanned the building and said in a voice like stone breaking, "Rogue unit detected. Eliminate the human. Back inside." Leo suited up. The chest plate clicked. The arm gauntlets glowed. He wasn't a soldier. But today, he had to be more than a mechanic. Nyx stood beside him, breathing heavily, sparks flicking from its wings. "They will not stop." Leo looked up at the massive dragon and smiled. "Neither will we." Suddenly, the back wall exploded. One hunter broke through, roaring with static and rage. Leo raised his energy gun. Nyx spread its wings. Half broken, but ready. The fight for survival had begun. But not the peaceful kind. The kind that follows after fire. After smoke. After something nearly ends. The scrapyard was broken. Walls cracked, towers bent, smoke rising from metal piles that once stood tall. Sparks rained down like fireflies. The battle was over. For now. Inside the ruined workshop, Leo sat on the ground, coughing through dust. His hair was burnt at the ends. his arms shaking from the energy blasts. His suit was scorched, half-melted, barely holding together, but he was alive. And so was Nyx. The dragon lay in the center of the room, wings spread wide, badly damaged. One wing had been torn at the joint. Parts of its armored chest were glowing red, overheating. Its breathing was slow, shallow, almost fading. Leo pulled himself up, limping toward the beast. His eyes scanned the burns, the exposed circuits, the cracked energy core beneath Nyx's ribcage. "You held them off," Leo whispered. "You saved me." Nyx didn't speak. "It's COULDN, single quotes T. Leo dropped to his knees. "But you're dying." For a moment, all he could hear was the soft humming of failing systems. He clenched his fists. "No," he said. "Not like this." He stood up fast and ran to the back room. Tools flew off shelves. He kicked open crates, yanked out batteries. Scrap from alien ships, fusion coils, a broken teleport core, all useless. Too weak. He needed power. Real power. His eyes locked onto something in the corner. A black box, dusty and sealed with 3 glowing locks. He hadn't opened it in years. The Forbidden's core. Taken from a fallen alien warship. Too unstable. Too dangerous, but maybe. The only chance. Leo dragged the box to Nyx. The dragon's eye barely opened. "That core is not safe," Nyx said weakly. Leo shook his head. "Neither is losing you." He pried the box open. The core inside was small, but it pulsed like a heartbeat. It lit up the whole room in waves of white-blue light. Leo connected it to a transfer cable, then paused. "If I do this wrong, it could kill you. Or me, or both." Nyx looked at him, voice cracking. "I trust you." Those 3 words hit Leo harder than any explosion. No one had ever said that to him before. The repair began. This wasn't fixing a machine. This wasn't patching wires or oiling gears. This was resurrection. Leo worked non-stop. Sweat poured from his face. Sparks burned his arms. He used everything, Earth tech, alien tech, even pieces of his old workshop, welded armor. Replaced wing struts. Rebuilt energy veins with plasma cables. Every part he fixed, the dragon glowed brighter. As he worked, he talked. "You know, I used to think I was just ... background. Just a guy who fixed trash. Everyone else flew ships, fought wars, saved planets. And I stayed here, forgotten." He tightened a bolt on Nyx's neck joint. "But then you showed up, and I realized maybe I was waiting for something bigger than me. The dragons." Eyes flickered. "You were never small." Leo swallowed the lump in his throat. He took the Forbidden's core in his hands. It was time. He climbed onto Nyx's back, opened the main energy channel, and placed the core inside. The entire scrapyard shook. The light exploded from Nyx's chest, pulsing out like a heartbeat. The circuits reconnected. The wings lifted slightly. The glowing lines across its body surged like rivers of lightning. Then dash, boom. A shockwave burst through the yard, knocking down broken towers and scattering clouds of dust. Leo held tight, and Nyx rose. Its wings, now whole again, opened wide, metallic, beautiful, shining in the morning light. Leo laughed through tears. "You're flying." Nyx hovered gently above the ground, then lowered again. Its voice was stronger now. "We are ready." Leo slid down from its back, breathless. Ready for what? Nyx looked to the sky. To leave this place. And finish what they started. Leo followed its gaze. Above, the clouds were moving. Strange shadows flickered in the upper atmosphere. Something was watching. More were coming. But this time, they weren't hunting a broken dragon. They were heading into a scrapyard armed with something they never expected. A reborn weapon. And a mechanic who never gave up. Asterisk, it started with a sound the earth hadn't heard in centuries. Wings, not flapping. Roaring, metal and wind slicing through the morning sky. Thunder without clouds. From the wrecked scrapyard below, dust lifted in spirals. Tools rattled on shelves. Rusted towers leaned. With the force. And high above it all, Nyx flew, truly flew. Its massive wings, rebuilt, glowing, alive, spread wide as the wind screamed around them. The silver scales reflected the sun like broken mirrors. Its eyes burned like twin stars, no longer grounded, no longer hunted. Dragon once built to destroy. Now reborn by the hands of a mechanic. Leo clung to the saddle rig he had welded into Nyx's back. His heart pounded in rhythm with the thrusters hidden beneath the dragon's wings. He yelled into the wind, "I can't believe this is actually happening." Nyx tilted gently in the air, voice calm but deep. "You built this moment, believe it." They soared over the scrapyard, then higher, into the clouds, through winds that tore at their flight. The earth below looked small. Leo had never left. Ground level before. Now he was riding a myth. But this wasn't a joyride. Far above, in low orbit, something massive hung in the sky. The Hunter mothership. It had arrived. A black triangle, wider than a city, floating like death itself, silent. Still, but alive with movement. Inside, cold red lights blinked. Hundreds of Hunter units stood in rows, waiting for orders. And at the center stood a figure cloaked in shadow, taller than any Leo had seen before. A Hunter. But more. The commander. Its voice rumbled across systems. Target reacquired. Engage final protocol. Destroy the dragon. Terminate the human. Nyx saw it all from the sky. They've brought the full fleet. Leo's stomach dropped. What do we do? The dragon turned its head slightly. "We go up," Leo grinned. "Then take me higher." They shot into the sky like a missile, wings pulsing with each beat. The clouds screamed as they broke through. Leo could barely breathe from the pressure, but his eyes were wide with awe. For the first time in his life, he felt limitless. As they neared the mothership, a swarm of Hunter drones poured out like angry bees. Sleek, fast, sharp, armed with lasers and missile claws. Leo locked into the weapon system he had mounted on Nyx's shoulder. "I hope this works." He pressed the trigger. A burst of plasma erupted from Nyx's wing cannons, tearing through. 3 drones in a flash. The rest split into formation and attacked. Nyx rolled midair, dodging missiles and beams. The sky became a dance of fire and smoke. Leo fired again and again, but there were too many. One drone hit them, hard. Leo was thrown sideways, barely holding on. "Nyx, I have you." The dragon spun and dove, then turned sharply back toward the ship. "We break the heart," it said. Leo pointed. "Main reactor port, right under that control ring." Nyx roared and charged. Dozens of drones followed. Lasers flew like lightning. One clipped Leo's shoulder, burning through his sleeve. He screamed, held on. They reached the port, too. Strong to break with weapons. So Leo did the unthinkable. He unstrapped the forbiddens. Core from Nyx's backup power line. "What are you doing?" Nyx growled. Leo shouted over the wind. "It's not just a battery, it's a bomb. You'll die. Not if we drop it and fly." Nyx hesitated. Leo stared at him. "You trusted me once. Now it's my turn." A long beat, then the dragon nodded. Leo aimed. Released. The core dropped, glowing, humming, falling like a second sun. Boom. The side of the mothership exploded in a storm of white light and spinning fire. Drones were pulled into the blast. Pieces of metal rained into the sky. Leo and Nyx barely escaped, diving through smoke and flame, wings folding just in time to avoid a final burst. Below, the earth watched. A scrapyard. A boy. A dragon. Now legends in the making. They landed hard. Dirt flying as Nyx crashed into the ground. Leo rolled off, coughing, shaking, laughing. Nyx looked down at him. "You are insane," Leo grinned. "Takes one to ride one." They looked up together at the burning sky. The mothership was falling. The hunters were broken, but something still stirred deep inside the wreckage, something worse, something waiting. Ash was falling from the sky, not snow. Not dust. Ash, glowing, floating, the remains of machines and monsters, burned by the fire of rebellion. The mothership was broken in the clouds, a black wound across the sky. Trails of smoke spun behind it as it collapsed in slow motion. Pieces still burned as they fell like dying stars. Leo stood in the scrapyard, his face lit orange by the fires above. His jacket was torn. His shoulder was wrapped in cloth, still bleeding, but he was alive. Beside him stood Nyx, wings cracked, chest still glowing, smoke rising from its joints. But it was alive too. They had one dot, or so they thought, because from the center of the skyfall, something was rising, not metal, not bone, something between. A hunter. No longer hunter. The commander had survived, but not whole. Its body glitched and warped. One arm was missing, the other sparking with dark energy. But in place of its broken mask was a face, human-like, almost twisted with rage. And something worse, fear. It hovered above them, supported by gravity engines and rage alone. "You were built to obey," it said, voice broken and loud. "And you were built to die." Leo stepped forward, gripping his blaster, out of power. "We broke your ship. Your army's gone." The commander smiled, sharp and flickering. "Not gone, changed." It raised its hand. Signals pulsed through the sky. Around them, pieces of fallen drones twitched. Wings flapped. Eyes opened. "They're rebooting." Leo shouted. Nyx stepped in front of him, growling. "I will stop them." But Leo saw the damage. Nyx was nearly drained. Another battle might kill them both. Then Leo saw it. A pod thrown from the wreckage. Not a weapon. Not a machine. A gateway. A small alien portal core. Glowing blue, spinning slowly. "Still functional," he turned to Nyx. "We can leave right now. That portal could take us anywhere." Nyx didn't answer. Leo continued. "We go through, disappear, start new somewhere else. No more hunters. Number. More war." The dragon looked at the falling drones, then at the portal, then at Leo. "You can go," it said. "You are not part of this." Leo clenched his fists. "I wasn't, but I chose to be." A long silence followed. The drones were rising again, forming in the air. The commander watched, waiting. "If I fight, I may not survive," Nyx said. Leo nodded. "And if we run, we both live. But others won't." Nyx tilted its head. "Then why are you still here?" Leo looked up. "Because someone once said I wasn't small." Nyx stared at him. Then slowly, painfully, bent down so Leo could climb onto its back. "Then let's be big one last time." They rose into the air together, broken but burning, side by side. The drones came fast. A storm of red eyes and black metal. Leo locked in what power was left. "We go straight for the commander." Nyx roared. Lightning burst from its throat. Not fire, not plasma, but pure light. The sky lit up. Drones exploded in waves. The commander launched toward them, arms glowing, shrieking something in a dead language. They collided mid-air. Leo leapt from Nyx's back mid-spin and tackled the commander mid-flight. They crashed through falling debris, slamming into the ground. Fists, blades, sparks. Nyx hit the ground a second later, blasting the last wave of drones from the sky with its final breath of fire. When the dust cleared, the scrapyard was silent again. Leo lay in the dirt. His hands were burned, his side bleeding. The commander was nothing but twisted metal beside him. He looked over. Nyx was still. Too still. Leo crawled to the dragon's side. "Hey, wake up. We did it." No response. He placed a hand on Nyx's chest. The core had stopped glowing. "Come on, please." Silence. Then, faintly, Leo. Leo's eyes lit up. You're still here. Nyx opened one glowing eye. Still here. Leo laughed and cried all at once. That's enough. The portal core blinked behind them, still spinning. Leo looked at it. Then at the burning sky. Then at Nyx. Where do we go now? He asked. Nyx slowly stood. Anywhere. Leo smiled. Let's start with the stars. They stepped into the light. Together.